Hello everyone. So in this session I am going to discuss about probability. Okay. So before entering into any chapter, we should know that why to learn this chapter, okay, and what this chapter is all about. So two important questions should be you should have the answer for this question before you enter into any chapters, right? So let's start with what. So what is this probability? And look, there are so many questions like why this chapter is alone asked in all the competitive exams, right? So what this have, that why this importance is given to this chapter alone, right? So okay, probability is it's a branch of mathematics, okay, which is like a kind of it's a probability of event to occur, right? We can say like let's start with an example, right? So is it going to rain tomorrow? Okay, do you have the answer for that? Okay, it may rain, it may not, right? Only two answers, right? So these are the two possible answers. But in case of probability, I just want to find what is the probability that will rain tomorrow, which means I'm looking at only the rain part. Means I don't want the sunny part, or it may not rain. That negative concept I'm not going to, right? So I just want whether it will rain or not, right? So what is the probability that it will rain tomorrow, right? So that is total outcome is 2. It may or it may not, right? So my favorable outcome is it may rain. That is only one output, right? But the total number of outcome is 2, right? So this is a simple practical example of probability. Okay. So, this is a simple example where we use a probability in a day-to-day life, right? So next we'll start with some other example, like let's toss a coin, right? So let's toss a coin. What are the possible outcomes? I may get head or I may get tail. So only two possible outcomes, right? If I'm asking to some fellow who doesn't have any idea about probability, or will take some student of class 8 or class 7, okay, if I'm asking what is the probability that I'll be getting a tail in my first spin, okay, so he'll be answering 50% chance, 50% for tail and 50% for head, right? So because he doesn't know about probability, right? So because in class 7th we have percentage, so he will be going into the percentage, not to the probability, because probability starts from class 9, right? So in case of percentage, if I'm asking the same question to the kid, he will be giving 50%, 50-50, right? It can be tail 50%, it can be head 50%, right? So there is a relation between percentage and probability. What is the relation? Yes, just one simple relation, right? If it is a 50%, which means 50 by 100, right? Because we know this percentage means per 100, right? Which means 50 by 100. Here also same 50 by 100. So ultimately you will be getting 1 by 2, right? Right? So here I am giving 50-50, in probability I will be giving 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. So there is a relation between percentage and probability. Okay. Next, what is the limit for percentage? Some people may say, I'm 200% confident about that event to happen. So I'm 200% confident that I'll be getting sent them in an exam, okay? But practically that is not possible. So percentage is, the limit of the percentage is from 0 to 100. There is no percentage like which is more than 100, right? So the maximum percentage which you can score is 100, not more than that, right? So the percentage is having a limit. As I already told you, the percentage and probability are interrelated, right? So in this case, how we get from a percentage to probability, the limit in case of limit. So here, okay, let me take there is a chance of getting a 0% in an exam, okay, and there is a chance of 100% in an exam, and in between you may have lot of values. We are not going to bother about, because I'm just want the lower limit and the upper limit, right? So 0%. As I told you, you can convert the percentage into probability by dividing by 100, right? 0 by 100, right? 100 by 100, which means I'll be getting 0 here, 1, right? So this is the limit for percentages. This is the limit for probability, right? 0 to 1. So probability always, the value of the probability always lies between 0 and 1. It cannot be more than 1, right? So, okay, what happens if the limit is 0, and what happens if the limit is 1, right? So in case of sure event, what is sure event? For example, like, so there is an event which is definitely going to happen, right? So, okay, we'll take an example, right? So same coin, okay. You may get head or tail in a coin, right? There are two possibilities, right? So if someone is asking, what is the probability that you are going to get head or tail, which means I may get a head or tail. This is what my event is about, right? So I may get head or tail, which means definitely I'm going to get head or tail, right? So this event definitely that is going to happen, right? Which means there is a chance 100% this event is going to happen, right? So in case of percentage, it will be taking as 100%. So if you convert this into probability, you will be getting as 1, right? So in okay, we'll take one more example for 0 probability, okay? You'll be getting a value of 0 in probability, okay, if you take an event which is never going to happen, right? So we'll consider an example of dice, right? Dice is having a 6 output that varies from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Because the dice will be in the shape of cube, we have 6 sides in a cube, so we have 6 output in a cube, okay. So now if someone is asking what is the probability of getting an 8 in a when you're rolling a die, what is the probability of getting an output 8, right? So 7 and 8, these are the possible outcomes. 7 and 8 is not going to happen. That will never happen when you roll a when you roll a die, right? So 7 and 8 are not possible when you roll a die, right? So these are all never going to happen in your in favor of you, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these are the only possible outcomes in a die, right? These are all the probability of getting 8 in a rolling a die is not going to happen. So probability is 0 and percentage is also 0% of chance, right? This probability is like we use this to predict something, okay, to predict the future based on mathematical calculation. This is the wonder, right? So when you take an maybe a few people believe astrology, okay, that is about arrangement of stars, right? Right? Astrology, that is based on the arrangement of stars, right? They are going to predict the future based on the arrangement of stars, right? So in that, astron is star and nomi is the arrangements, so arrangement of stars, right? In case of probability, I'm going to use the same mathematical calculation, okay, to predict the future. In probability, okay, the two possible in a coin, okay, both outcomes will get equal amount of chance. This is what mathematics is all about, right? So I'll be getting an equal amount of chance for head and equal amount of chance for tail, right? So this is the reason why this concept is frequently used in all engineering field and even medicine field, right? Especially in case of risk management and profit forecasting areas. This has lot of applications, right? Even I gave few day-to-day life applications, right? Okay.